Hi everyone, it's Marianne with another Sketch It Out Thursday for the Crafty Maven's channel. And today I used a sketch by Laura Whitaker for Scrapping Around the Block.blogspot.com. And I used some of my new Studio Calico, some stuff from November Studio Calico, and some older stuff from Cocoa Daisy, a piece of pattern paper, and some day in the life cards, probably from last November, possibly the November before that. So I had a picture that I took of my puppy. Her name is Lucy, and she doesn't photograph well because she's so dark. So we went for a walk, and just the way the sunlight was hitting her, the picture came out pretty good, and I just snapped it and went inside and sat down and scrapbooked it. So I'm starting with a white background, and the sketch makes it look kind of like an artsy, messy background, so that's what I'm going to do. So those three leaves are from the newest Studio Calico. They're embossed with some shiny gold metallic accent on there. And to do the messy background, I picked a few stamps, and basically I'm just going to stamp around the page a little bit and put some rub-ons and some droplets, and that's going to be my messy background. Because the paper was already white, I didn't really feel like messing with gesso, although you could definitely put down some gesso. So because because the paper is so white and I didn't want the messy background to be overpowering, I'm going to do what's called second generation stamping. So I'm going to stamp my stamp off to get the majority of the ink off, and then stamp on my paper so that it's not the first impression of the ink pad. They call that second generation stamping. So I'm just using I think it's a Prima stamp. It's a little background stamp that kind of looks like a little bit of a bubble wrap, maybe, type look to it. Honeycomb, bubble wrap, whatever you want to call it. Right here I'm just looking for a navy ink pad, or a different blue ink pad. The one I used with the Prima stamp is navy, from Close to My Heart. And I want to stamp this circle, so I thought maybe a different blue, but I end up going with black. Close to My Heart black. So I'm also going to do second generation stamping here. So because I kind of like laid out all my elements first, I kind of had an idea of where I wanted to do the stamping. However, I end up covering most of it up. That's just the way it goes when you do the messy background kind of around the edges, and that's okay because, you know, it's not perfect, and not that it has to be. But so now I'm going to reassemble my elements on the page, and you know, watching this video back, I really liked it the first way I had it, but it doesn't end up staying like that, unfortunately. So here I'm just looking through my rub-ons. I do have quite a collection that I've amassed throughout the years of rub-ons, and some of them are still good, and some of them, when I take them out of the package, I realize they're garbage and throw them out. But the majority of these ones in here are still usable. And if you have ever taken any of Christy Tomlinson's mixed media classes, or it was the She Art class especially, just to do like a background on a canvas, it was like a great way to use rub-ons, because they didn't have to, the idea is not even to use them so they go on perfectly. It's supposed to look like distressed and kind of just like fade into the background. So I picked these two kind of plant-looking ones from an older pink paisley package. I'm going to use those. And also some of these Jenny Bolin, a few little stars off of here. I think there were stars on the sketch. And I don't know, I just felt like using some rub-ons for the messy background. So I'm going to just rub them on. And I'm not so concerned about being perfect, although they worked pretty well, considering that I don't know how old they are, 7 years, 5, 6, 7 years. And then these ones by Seven Gypsies, when I was going through my rub-ons, I pulled them out because I'm going to use them for something else, a future project. but I'm also going to use them a little bit here. So I just felt like my messy background needed a little bit more texture, so I used my go-to stamp, a very old one. It's just got a few lines on it, and it was from a rubber stamp store that was local to me at one time. It was called Moon Rose, and it was one of her exclusive stamps. So I'm just trying to use up a few of those 7 gypsies. It's just got a bunch of random year numbers, I think, on there. I just wanted something that had maybe a little bit of words or numbers or something, just for a little visual interest, just to break up all the stamping. And I'm just going to randomly, I didn't realize I was off camera here, randomly just use the stars around, and hopefully I won't cover them up when I'm making my page come together. And here I'm assembling everything, and I kind of I like it like this, but that's not how it ends up all going together once I glue it down. But in the end, I also like the finished project, the way it comes out. So also on the Crafty Maven's channel, 2 people usually do this Sketch It Out Thursday, and Christy has another sketch also by the same person, by Laura Whitaker. So you should go check out her video after you watch mine, or maybe you already watched her video. But so 2 different sketches, and how versatile, sketches are to use. It's a great starting point for your layout when you're just not quite sure where to go with it. So here I'm using some Heidi Color Shine, and I have a navy and, of course, gold lame, which I love, and I'm just using some droplets. This is the first time I had used the navy, so I'm just going to use some really big droplets and just some little droplets also. So the big droplets came out and they were really saturated. So I just take a little end of a paper towel and just stick it in there to soak up most of the ink, just because I was impatient. I wanted it to dry. I wanted to finish the page, and honestly I was too lazy to go look for my embossing tool to dry it. I know everything should be plugged in and handy, but that's just not my life, so I don't even know where it is. It's around somewhere. So now I'm going to reassemble my page after I kind of just stamped around. And after putting my elements down, everything kind of looked a little too white around the edges, so I just used Hero Arts, I think it's called Wet Cement, and just inked my edges. And I wanted to ink the edges of the leaves also from Studio Calico. And right there I was just showing you my old Tim Holtz, my sponge dauber. Lucy actually chewed the end of it, so now it's garbage. So this one is my backup, even though the handle falls off, so that's on my shopping list. So when I get in the store, I always forget that's what I need. So she's a chewer. She's a puppy. That's okay. She's forgiven. And actually, I took this photo on her birthday, on what we consider to be her birthday. She's a rescue, so we call her birthday the day that we brought her home. 4 months prior, because that's how old they told us she was. So I'm just arranging all my elements, and I think I'm going to put glue on all of them and then stick them down, and then pull them up and stick them down. So in my original idea, I think I had that darker leaf in the front, and looking back, I really like that better, but this is the way it's going to end up. And I'm going to really fiddle around with this for quite some time until I get it the way I want it, until I can't pull it up anymore because I put the glue all over the place. So that November card and the Oh Happy Day are from an older Cocoa Daisy, like I said. Maybe not even this past November. November 2014. It might even be November 2013. I knew I had the Day in the Life kit from there, and so I looked through, and in the beginning of the video, I showed you the mood board, so I was going off the mood board for this layout. I liked the navy and the gold especially, and the leaves. So it's a beautiful mood board this week. I hope you find some time to play along with it. Hannah Lemieux put together a lovely one, as usual. And what else? The paper that I picked from Cocoa Daisy had some distressing on it already. It looks like it was painted over with gesso, so I kept that. So the way I assembled my page, it's got that weird spot right there where I'm putting that leaf there. That's a plastic piece from the newest Studio Calico kit. It didn't look right on there. It was too many leaves at that point. And then I just pulled a navy sticker off the Studio Calico sticker sheet, and honestly that kind of just blended in. So now I'm going to look through some of my other label stickers to see if I could find the right one. And a lot of these were cream based that I'm going through, and the page is fairly white, so it's just not looking right. And I'm not exactly sure what I'm looking for. Something just to fill up that odd spot right there. I'm not going to do any journaling on this page. I'm just going to put the date and call it a day. I really just had a good time making a messy background and using up some of my stash, old and new. And so there I finally settled on a round sticker on the newest Studio Calico sticker sheet. Cut it in half and just put it under there. It's gray with a little flower on it. It was really just the right thing. And also from Studio Calico, just these navy sticker letters. I'm just going to put my title down there. And the way it worked out, those little star rub-ons were right above it. So it looks like I did that purposely, but really it just worked out. So just the date, and that's really it. There's going to be a still photo of my finished layout at the end. And thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Bye.